So this looks like something anybody could do to make soup, right? No special. I always thought you had to go buy a recipe and make exactly what the recipe shows, but
not at all. Not one bit.
You're just gonna cut everything up and throw it in.
Yes. And it's good to have some variety. For example, this time I'm not putting broccoli, but normally I do. Not, broccoli. I have cauliflower. Sometimes I'll leave the cauliflower out and bell pepper or something. That's a lot of carrots, but I like carrots. So these are the hard vegetables. The onion is not a hard vegetable, but it's a seasoner. It's going to flavor my water.
What's going to flavor your water?
The onions.
The onions.
But the carrots and potatoes are the hardest ones, so they're going to go first.
Okay.
Then is the medium vegetables, which is the zucchini.
What did you call it?
Medium soft.
The medium vegetables.
Yeah, so these are going to go in next.
Okay. Because that's the trick. Everything's got to cook the same. You don't want hard carrots in there or hard potatoes, but yet you don't want zucchini that's really super soft either, do you?
No, not at all.
That's why I was surprised you didn't microwave the potatoes first or the carrots first, but I guess you don't have to do that.
It's not necessary.
Okay.
These are the zucchini. Sometimes I will use yellow squash.
The cricknet squash? Okay, so any kind of squash at this point.
You could, yes. I've also used, and it's really good too, is the Mexican squash. Which are fatter, skinnier, and lighter green. You've probably seen this at the store. These I'm going to chop it. I'm not going to throw in just yet.
Oh, okay. You're not going to throw these in just yet.
No. And these I like a lot, so I'm going to put all 4. You could also use frozen vegetables with this.
Uh-huh.
It was just as fine. In fact, my cauliflower is frozen. That's why I'm not putting it in now, because it's already soft.
But wouldn't it be more healthy for you if you use fresh anytime you can?
Yes, but the only reason I can do that is because I never use the whole cauliflower.
Yeah.
And it's just easier for me to just buy the packet. By the way, I cut the ends because they're bitter.
Okay. So these are not...
These are chunky too.
Okay. These are not cucumbers.
No. I need a bowl for these. With the tomatoes, I'm using fresh. You could use canned tomatoes as well. Soup is the easiest thing to make.
Well, that's all you're going to cut this, just like that, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm going to put it aside, wait for the potatoes and the carrots to cook at least halfway.
And halfway, meaning how long would you say they need to cook? The stuff that you got in there, your hard vegetables.
Not long. I would say maybe 20 minutes.
20 minutes, and you got it on high right now. Right?
Yes, and then I'll throw this and the tomatoes. I'm going to put the kale at the end.
Okay, I'm going to take a look over here as she's cutting that. Let's see what's happening over here. Okay, it's getting hot. It's not boiling just yet.
No.
It's just getting ready, though. And so you can be doing that with all the hard vegetables while you're cutting everything else. Okay, I like that system so far.
Yeah.
You've done this before? I think you've done this before. How long have you been making vegetable soup?
On a weekly basis?
On a weekly basis.
4 years.
For years.
4 years.
4 years in a row, constantly, every week, you make this soup and you take the whole big old pot of soup to work. And you have it for breakfast sometimes and for lunch.
Yes, and I share it too. My co-workers know that if they don't bring lunch, we can have no soup.
Now, are you going to wash those tomatoes with soap or not?
No, just hot water.
Just hot water. Okay.
Do you wash yours with soap?
I don't know.
No.
I'm not a cook.
And these are going to be chunky too.
Yeah, I used to have a fruit stand when I was a kid, though, in high school. So I know pretty much about vegetables and stuff like that. I was the greengrocer, Joe. VideoJoeKnows groceries and green
Something
grocer.
else to add to your resume, huh?
Yeah. But I never cooked vegetables like this for vegetable soup or anything.
It's pretty simple. If you know, if you can cut vegetables, chop them, you can make soup. Like I said, some people will fry or saute their onions and their tomatoes. I don't.
You don't. You're just gonna now. Okay, you're gonna throw those in this bowl too. This is all for later.
Yeah, in about 20 minutes or so, I'm
All right.
throw that in there. Take out the jalapenos and then throw that in there. So what's left then is the cauliflower, which I don't have to chop. And what's in here? Oh, in this soup, I'm adding broccoli slaw. This is the first time I'm going to use this on my soup.
Huh. Okay.
So I guess I will have broccoli after all.
All right.
I just found this so convenient to just maybe put half of this in there. And
That sounds like a good
something
idea.
different. Yeah, I wanted to do something.
So what is
different
that?
today.
Broccoli slaw?
Broccoli slaw.
Okay. You can kind of use that for like a coleslaw, right?
Yes. In fact, it has a recipe for the coleslaw. If you want to make the vinegar and the mayonnaise mix.
Oh.
But I may do that with the other half, but at least half of this is going to be my soup today.
Okay, so are you going to throw that in this little
Yeah,
container here now?
maybe half of it. That's going to go. Maybe that.
So like you say, every week your soup is just made slightly different to kind of...
Add variety, just so it doesn't get boring.
Yeah.
This
Every
one-
week you don't have to have the very same thing.
No, and sometimes it'll be more Italian based. I'll use Italian herbs.
Uh-huh.
I'll throw beans in there, make it like a minestrone, if you will. Sometimes
Oh
it'll
yeah,
be
that sounds good.
more on the Asian side. This is kale.
That's nice.
Kale. The leaves are hard, but they're gonna wither or they'll soften up in the water. The spine here, the bone here is not edible, so we're gonna take that out.
Oh, it's not?
It's not.
So you just... Okay. I wouldn't have known that.
Yeah, that's.
Why, if you would have put that in the soup?
It's like a stalk of a plant. It's
Ew.
too hard.
Okay.
However, I have juiced it. I put it through my juicer,
Okay.
and it's pretty good for that, but it's not for my soup. So I'll just get a few of these. Oh, that's smelling good already.
Now that vegetable soup, you could put rice in it.
Yes.
You could put beans in it.
Pasta,
Pasta, any quinoa, that would be good too, huh?
which I've done.
All that you could throw in the vegetable soup.
This looks like a lot, but it's going to.
That's going to shrink way down, huh? So you could put a lot of that in, couldn't you?
I'm going to put a lot of it in there.
Well, that's interesting. I just learned something. Don't use those stalks.
No.
Bad stalks right here. Bad. Okay. I'm hearing the pot over here. It's boiling as we speak.